that we use a lot. We hear it in almost every field, every profession, from every age. This word is even considered an epitome, a paramount of human being, apparently. And that word is success. We all want to be successful in every field, in whatever we do. We try to achieve success professionally, personally, in the task that we do. We do want to achieve things. We do want to possess, be someone, and be someone successful. And so it is important to understand why is it that we so badly want to be successful, and why does the definition of success is so narrow. Because whenever we utter this term, most of us have that same image of what it means to be successful. It means a good job, a well paying profession, even a business. It means having a house, a family, some achievements to show off, etc. This is our definition of success. This is what most of us mean when we use this word success, when we say that we are actually successful. Why is it, firstly, that this definition is so narrow? It is so skewed. Is it not that we have unknowingly, unconsciously arrived upon this image of a successful person, this image of a successful man, a successful woman? Why does, in fact, one needs to be successful? Isn't being enough? And being not in the sense that it is a reaction to this race towards success. So we go in either two directions. Firstly, we would try to achieve this success. We would have ambitions. We would have dreams, in quotes. We would have aspirations that we want to follow. We would have targets that we want to achieve, and so on. We badly want to be successful to prove something to other, or to prove something to ourselves also. We want to have this belief within us that we are not worthless, that we are not nothing, that we are something. And so, in order to become something, in order to be somebody, to be known as someone successful, is what we strive for. All of our effort is in the direction of being something. From a state of nothingness, from a state of nobody, we want to become somebody. And this is one direction. And when the one who has tried, the one who has put in effort, the one who has worked hard, when they see that the efforts are not yielding the results that they want, that the hard work they are putting in is not converting in the way they would want it to convert, we just simply declare that the grapes are sour, and we say that, we are enough by ourselves, that we really don't need to achieve anything, that we are complete within ourselves, and so on. We see these two directions, these two extremes, where one works hard, struggles to achieve success, and on the other end, one just does nothing or is tired of doing so much that they wave a flag of defeat, that they say they are done, and to cover their defeat up, they would say that, you know, I am contented within myself, I am fulfilled within myself, I know who I am, and I don't want to and I don't need to prove something to anybody. I am complete within myself. We would begin to tell ourselves these things. We haven't really found out why we were struggling in the first place, that why this feeling of nothingness is so worrisome, and why we were moving towards being something, that why being a nobody was so uh, anxiety inducing. It was an existential angst, and to cure this existential angst, we tried to be somebody, become something, and when our efforts failed, we simply are convincing ourselves, we are in fact lying to ourselves that, you know, I am good, that I see this rat race and I don't want to run in it, I don't want to take part in it, etc. The one who are running the rat race are running because they think that they are achieving something, that they would get something at the end of it, that there is a prize to be enjoyed, to be had, and the one who is not in the rat race is simply tired of running. They feel like not running anymore, and without it they don't know what else to do. So as a mere reaction to their tiredness, their inability to keep on running blindly, we come up with a certain philosophical structure, some justifications, some concepts that we shouldn't be running the rat race, that this isn't for me, and we should be contented with ourselves, and so on. At no point in time we have really bothered to understand, to find out for ourselves that what is the reality, who we are, why do we feel this nothingness within, what is this existential angst all about. We haven't really put ourselves to finding out the truth of ourselves. We do not bother to understand why we are restless and anxious in the first place, and why we use success, ambition, these aspirations, dreams to become someone. What is this entity which feels empty within? What is our reality? Why are we the way we are? Lonely, fearful, miserable, dissatisfied, discontented. Can we really live with our discontentment? Can we understand? Do we have within us to not to put our dissatisfaction to sleep, to not to give it some cheap pleasure, some temporary momentary happiness, and then call it a day? Can we really find out for oneself what is it that makes one truly secure? Because in the garb of success, in the garb of ambition, what we are really trying to do is achieve an inward security, to achieve an assurance, an affirmation, a validation an approval? Can we figure out for ourselves that why do we need to compulsorily affirm ourselves, to appease ourselves? What is this thing within from where all of this effort to appease, to find validation emerges from? What is going on within us? What is our reality? Why do we feel incomplete? Why do we feel like a nobody? And from this feeling, we begin to put all our efforts to become somebody. Can we really find out for ourselves what is our truth? Who we exactly are? And it cannot be a matter of a few hours or even days. It may take years, it may take even a lifetime to understand that. Isn't a life spent understanding what life is, what life truly is, worthwhile? Does not that make life meaningful? Is finding meaning in itself something that makes life actually meaningful? Or we have to arrive at a conclusion, we have to stick ourselves to something, that we have to commit ourselves to a course of action? Would this commitment, would this sticking to something, would arriving on conclusion, does that how we really find meaning? Does that how we really find actual success? We like to have a established path. We like to have a road already built upon which we can walk on. And the conclusions that we have arrived at, the path that we have chosen for ourselves, is pre-established, is quite easily available. We haven't really worked at it. We haven't really worked for the conclusion that we have arrived at, the path that we have chosen. All of it was simply something that was ready, available in front of us. And according to our own conditioning and experiences, past memory, belief, we have simply chosen one out of a buffet. To really find out for oneself our own truth, what is it that is worth doing, who we are, requires a seriousness, a vigor, an intensity which we are too afraid to spend, too afraid to invest in. We want superficial safety, we want superficial security. We don't want to work to find out, to really invest ourselves into understanding what life is. And from this inability, from this eagerness to simply commit oneself to a path, to attach oneself to a course of action, we act in life. There is no real success in just simply putting our head down and following what an established way of being successful is. We haven't really arrived at that success by ourselves. It was a borrowed concept, an idea. We simply imitated what we saw around us, and the one who is able to imitate better, the one who exactly copies what the other has done is called successful, is deemed as a success. And it is this type of success that even after achieving it, we still feel like a failure. We still feel that there is something missing, that there is something that we can do more. And often we just then go into the game of multiplying, adding, possessing, doing more and more until we die, because we do not know anything else apart from maximization, apart from getting bigger in size, having more. We just want to grow without understanding what growth really is. And isn't that the function of a cancer cell, to grow for the sake of growth? This is a blind race towards one's own destruction. It may feel like that we are creating something, it may feel like that we are building something, but we'll find that we are destroying, we are annihilating our own self. We do not realize this, that without really understanding what it means to grow, what it means to be excellent, what it means to be complete, what actually is success, if we can even call it that. Without knowing, all we have are just these concepts, these pre-established, predetermined paths of success upon which we will walk. There is no authenticity in them, there is no originality there. We haven't learned anything about life. We were indoctrinated by our culture, by our society. We obeyed the rules, the patterns, and got ourselves where we are today. We only know conforming. There is no radicalness in our life. An indisciplined, irreverent, completely original approach. We don't have that in our life. Our demand for security makes us settle in the houses that have weak foundation. We may feel secure in those weak foundational houses, but there is no real security there. We will always be fearful of losing the house because its foundation, we never actually bothered to check its foundation to make sure that the house we are living in has an immovable foundation. When we imitate, when we borrow ideas, when we follow what goes on around us, we remain fearful, we remain insecure, we remain anxious, we have multiple problems. Those problems are the result of who we are, what we have chosen for ourselves, the life that we are living. Those problems are simply symptoms of the life that we have built around ourselves. One has to give oneself fully to life, to understanding what is this existence, who we are, what is our relationship to it, what is in fact is relationship, who is the one who relates, the one who is really serious about life, who really want to succeed, who really want something, who actually wants something good, something excellent in life, commits themselves to life. They don't settle on cheaply available options. They don't just buy in, agree to the concepts that float in the surroundings. They are ready to even destroy every principle, idea, belief that they hold about life, because life is dear to them. It is not something to be played around with. It is not something to be wiled away. One cannot just simply waste one's life. And the one who understands that comes upon the source of all existence, from where life emerges from. They have discovered creation, because they have destroyed every artificial, narrow, unoriginal, borrowed thing around them. They do not let the past interfere. They do not let the tradition, their own experiences, interfere in the understanding of life directly. The one who accepts no half measures in life is the one who truly excels, who go all the way, who are not just simply contented with what is there, with what is acceptable. They want freshness, beauty, freedom at every step, at every level, right through the end, if there is even an end. It is only this human being who can come upon truth, who can taste life, and who can be really considered the living one.